Hey, this is Lacey, your Las Vegas gal, here with my very good friend Amber Coleman from Guild Mortgage here in Las Vegas. So Amber and I work together quite often when it comes to getting my clients for real estate qualified to buy homes. She's like this, I don't know, I call you like a guru wizard.
I love it.
I think I'm going to call you like, maybe I could call you a unicorn and that would be better. Yeah, like a home loans unicorn.
Oh, that works. It's magical, right?
Yes, this shirt's magical, you're magical. Anyway, so Amber and I work together a lot. And so really the process of a home loan is something that a lot of people, especially first-time home buyers, don't really understand. So I grabbed her today, I begged her to sit down with me so that she could help me educate you on what the heck happens during a home loan and during the house buying process and what you're going to need to expect so that when you're ready to buy a home, you're well prepared. So Amber, take it away. I'm just kidding. So really, let's talk about what happens kind of step by step, if you don't mind, because you're the expert. I don't know anything about home loans. I mean, I know a little, but I'm not allowed to know anything. So I have to let the experts be the ones who really deal with the clients, work with them one-on-one. So anytime someone asks me about home loans or rates, I say, I've got the girl for you. And that's basically all I'm allowed to say. So when I get a client who's interested in buying a home, they obviously contact me. They say, I'm interested in either moving to Vegas or I want to buy a new house. I then say, great, let's talk about what you're looking for and your needs. But really, step one, before I'm allowed to do anything with them or before I'm willing to do anything with them, is we have to get them pre-qualified. Mm-hmm. So what does that look like with you?
So with the pre-qualification, what I typically will do is I'll take their information, I'll give them a call, and I'll see if they want to go through an application by the phone or by email, whatever works best for them, and everybody's different.
What's the application incorporate? Like, is it they have to come up with a ton of documentation, or is it more just like standard information about their income and their debt?
At first, it's more standard information. After that, we do collect a lot of information, like documentation. So at first, we'll go through their credit, their name, social, date of birth, address, 2-year history of address, 2-year history of employment.
Okay. Then
some questions to know if they had any bankruptcies, foreclosures, judgments, all that fun stuff.
Okay.
I take all that together, pull credit, put in their debt to income ratio to see what everything looks like, and then we kind of talk payment.
Okay. And that's kind of the one thing that everyone's rightfully so concerned with. What's my payment going to be? If I can qualify for $400,000 house, that's great, but what does that mean to me on a daily and a monthly basis? So you guys from the get-go are focused on that because you know that's such an important factor.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and we want everybody to feel comfortable with the payment is too. So,
absolutely.
So go through and see what you qualify for, but then also see where your comfort zone is too.
Right, because I mean, someone may qualify for $600,000, but they're not comfortable paying that payment, so they're only going to look to buy maybe $300,000. Right?
Yeah.
That happens a lot.
Yeah.
So I wanted to touch on something you said a moment ago about how you asked them about foreclosures and any of the stuff that might have happened in their past. I know that I have to urge my clients, all clients, to really be comfortable with sharing that information with you, a stranger who they don't know. It's embarrassing if somebody's had a judgment or a foreclosure. Like, nobody wants to talk about the stuff that's happened in our past. So I just want to urge you and just take this moment to say, like, this woman or whoever you choose to do a home loan with needs to be like your priest if you're Catholic, or whoever you would like confess to, because if you don't tell them everything, it can really create problems halfway or through the process, and you may lose the home that you fell in love with. So it is by far the one thing I tell people when I'm about to send them your way. Tell her everything. I don't know any of it. She won't share with me your personal information. And if your loan officer is a good one, they also will keep your information private unless you've asked for it to be shared. That's really important. Privacy is important.
It's very important.
So these are like the trustworthy people of the world that I have to even rely on to make sure that my clients understand it's okay to tell her. So.
Yeah. And saying everything to me as the loan officer is the best thing, because there's so many different programs, there's so many different ways around things. Not that you're trying to get around things, but you're trying to find a program that fits you. So we don't want to find something in the 11th hour because it wasn't set up front. So it's better just to let it all out at the beginning.
And so that's really important too. So, letting it all out, like what Amber's saying basically is, say you did have a judgment, or say you had some weird home loan, car loan that went awry, that's not really on your credit, but at some point it might creep itself up. Trust me, it does creep up in the middle of all this stuff.
They do, because we
will find out. Yes, they will.
Everything.
Yeah. So during the process, just because you're pre-qualified and Amber tells you, hey, you're good to go to buy a $300,000 house, here's what your payment is, that does not mean you're in the clear, that it didn't come up at that point. It could come up throughout the process. process, right?
Yeah.
So be open and honest. I didn't mean to derail, but I wanted to make sure that we talked about that.
No, it's okay. That's perfect.
Super important.
That's perfect. It's very important.
So say, okay, I'm the client, I've called you, I've given you my 2-year bank history, living history, 2-year job history, I've talked to you about what I make, I've told you about my debt, you've run my credit, you've now qualified me. What happens after, like, I found a house that I wanted, like, I'm pre-qualified, I go out with my realtor, we find a house that I love, we come back to you and say, time to buy that house. What's the first thing that you're going to ask for when it's time to actually open escrow on a new home?
Before opening escrow, I'm going to try to get all the paperwork.
Okay, so you're saying if you pre-qualify them, but while they're pre-qualified and you say, hey, go look for a new home, they're still going to be expected to communicate with you guys on getting you all the finalized paperwork that you need so that when they do find the home that they want, you'll have things kind of already in motion and you're not starting from scratch.
Yeah.
Okay.
So what we're going to do is we're going to ask for a 2-year history of tax returns or W-2s, depending on what the job is. Sometimes we don't need tax returns.
Cool.
A month's worth of pay stubs, 2 months worth of bank statements, copies of the IDs. And that way, once you find a house, then you're ready to hit the ground running.
Cool.
You don't have to worry about chasing things down after the contract comes in.
And that's, trust me, like, it's not fun trying to chase down information when you're excited about buying a house and getting an inspection done and all of that. So,
yeah.
Cool. What about, so once they find the house and they open escrow, a lot of people are concerned that they're going to be, overcome with requests for all kinds of additional information. So how does your team work when it comes to, hey, congratulations, heard you found the house. Looks like we're moving forward with the loan. Now you have to actually process the loan, correct? What goes on in that time frame?
Part.
It's the beautiful part.
Yeah,
it really
we
is.
love it. It's our favorite thing. So what happens right when we get the contract is I'll call the borrower to go over the payment.
Okay.
And make sure everything's good. And then within 24 hours, we have disclosures sent out.
Okay.
Those are something that you can DocuSign.
Okay.
Or come in and sign them, whatever is more comfortable. Most people just like to DocuSign them.
People get freaked out by disclosures, I think, because they are like hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, we're never going to say don't read them because you should read them. That's what they're for.
Sure.
But mainly they're just disclosing all kinds of facts that people need to be aware of when getting a home loan, that you need to make your payment, just stuff that's like general knowledge, but you're required by law to make sure people know, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So at the beginning, remember too, when you get the first set of disclosures, they're initial disclosures. So it goes over all the information that we took. If something needs to be changed, that can easily be changed. Like if we put the wrong
middle initial or something
like that can easily be changed because they're initial disclosures, and we have by law a certain amount of time to get them out after we get the contract.
Okay, got it.
So
what else happens after that? So disclosures go out.
Then we get the appraisal ordered. On government loans, so if it's like a VA or FHA loan, we have to have the disclosures back before we can order the appraisal. Conventional loan, we can go ahead and get it ordered, and that's something that we try to get ordered quickly because there's always time on the contract when we need to have it back by.
So most people, when they're buying a house, don't realize, that there are some expenses that come up in the process of buying a home. So she just mentioned appraisals, inspection. Sometimes there's things that come up that you don't really expect. So like if you're buying a $300,000 house, or it could be $1 million house, all homes need to have an inspection done. It's just really important. If you're not buying it with cash and you don't care, that for the loan perspective, they require an inspection be done to make sure the house is correct.
The appraisal inspection. And some people get, with the appraisals, when they're buying new construction, they're like, why would I need an appraisal if I'm buying new construction?
Right.
Well, the lender's going to hold the builder just as responsible as somebody that's physically selling their house to make sure the house value. So
make sure the house is equal to the value that they're actually making you pay for it. So that's really important. So a couple of things will come up as far as expenses go. It might be a $200, $300, $400, $500 inspection fee that comes up after you guys are in contract. That has to happen within the first 10 days usually of signing the contract and saying we want to buy a house. Additionally, an appraisal can run again $300, $400, $500, $600. It just depends.
Depending on the size of the house.
Right. It's all dependent, right? So there's 2 opportunities for you to make sure that you're aware of that you're going to be asked to pay something in order to keep this process and this ball moving.
Yeah.
Okay. So appraisals are ordered. The client is then paying it over, with a debit card or whatever they're doing. Same thing for the inspection, which is handled by my side. Those 2 things kind of start to go. What happens after all those come back?
Well, in between those coming back, because the appraisal report takes about a week to come back.
Yeah.
So in between those coming back, what we're doing is we're putting all the paperwork into our system, uploading into what we call buckets, where it's the income bucket, the asset bucket, the miscellaneous bucket, the purchase contract, the property, and all that stuff. We're ordering the title fees. We're ordering everything we need from the title company. We're verifying the client's social security numbers. We're verifying the tax returns.
And are the clients involved in this, or is this your team going and being busy bees?
This is my team going.
Okay.
Once we have all the documentation, then we have to go with that. Some of those disclosures are authorization for us to verify those things that we need for the loan.
That's really important to know, because I think the idea of buying a house is so overwhelming just in general. Finding the house is the fun part, but the process after that, a lot of people don't know what to expect. So really, there's a few touch points in the beginning. There's a few touch points throughout the loan process of please pay for the appraisal, please pay for the inspection, please review the appraisal, please review the inspection. There may be a little bit of, hey, we need to confirm this information, a little back and forth, but the bulk of the work is done up front on the client's behalf.
Most of it is done up front. Okay. So, and then once we get through that, which is called the setup section, then we go into processing. Processing will submit the loan into underwriting, and then within a day or two, we'll have an underwriting approval.
And then we'll know if you guys are good to go.
Yeah, the underwriting approval, the underwriters, I feel like they're not doing their job unless they ask me for something. So typically once the underwriters come back and say, hey, you're approved, we'll call the client and say, yay, you're approved. We just need a couple things from you. Okay. And then we can submit it back for clear to close.
And what could those things be? Could it be like if they had a collection on their credit, they need to write a letter explaining why? Or
a lot of times we'll do that stuff up front. Okay. Putting the letter, but sometimes it can be something like that too. Okay. It could be like we always have to order insurance. If your pay's a little bit different, like sometimes people go on maternity leave and they're tip earners, and so we'll need a letter from the employer stating that they were on maternity leave for this time. We always have to verify the income. Sometimes there's things that need to be verified because maybe it wasn't broken down on the verification form.
So they're going through with a fine-tooth comb to make sure your team did your job correctly, and and inevitably you want them to come back with something to make sure that everybody's on the same page. Yeah. So hopefully,
well, I prefer they don't,
but if they're not doing their job, it's not right.
Yeah. Okay. And then a lot of times too, bank statements is a big thing too. So with a bank statement, if there's any large deposits, we have to prove where those come from.
Yeah, that's really important. A lot of people don't realize you can't just sell a car and then throw 10 grand into your account and then buy a house the next day. They're going to say, where did that money come from?
Yeah, where did it come from? So one thing you want to be concerned with when you're buying a house is what you put in that's cash. Because cash we can't confirm. Yep. So we have to back those deposits out. Or if you need to put cash in for your down payment, then try to put it in 60 days before buying.
Wait 60 days before you start buying, because we can usually minimize the amount of time they look at the bank account.
Once it's seasoned, 60 days, then it's your money. Okay. Is basically how it works.
And then once they're approved, then it's on me to make sure all the other stuff is done, and then they get the keys to the house and we close escrow and everybody's happy and fun, right?
Yeah, it's a fun time.
So if you have questions about the home loan process, I know we kind of ran through it quickly. Rewind, obviously, because Amber's a wealth of knowledge. Feel free to click down below. I've put a link here if you're interested in learning more about what we're doing. If you're interested in buying a house in Las Vegas or even selling your house, you want to talk to me, great. If you want to talk to Amber about getting pre-qualified, I've set up a link below so you guys can speak directly to my girl Amber. She's my unicorn of home loans.
I love it.
I know you'll love her. Either way, make sure you like and subscribe. And if you have any questions, feel free to comment below. I'll do my best to get back to you. But I'm not a home loan person, so don't ask me anything about home loans. If you want to talk about home loans, you got to go to Amber. Do you have anything else? Thanks for joining me.
I think that's it. I can't think of anything right now. Are you scared?
Amber's not used to doing videos, so I'm really happy that you did this with me. She's so nervous, but you did great.
Video's not my thing.
No, it's good. It's good. Like and subscribe. Thank you, Amber, for joining us today. And again, don't forget to click on those links, and we'll talk soon.
Thank you.